Welcome to AmayaGetsWet. Tonight's story is all about chance encounters. Are you feeling lucky? So, in the spirit of good fortune, I want you to lay down, relax, have a drink, and I want you to fall accidentally in love. Everything had been going surreptitiously wrong for Ali. Everything. She had just spilt coffee on an innocent stranger. It simply was not her day. Nor was it her year. Newly single and her dream career ghosting her. "Oh, I am so sorry, sir. Could I get you another?" She panicked, rushing over with her colleague's apron. It was all she could find. No, shoo away, girl. You've done enough." The gentleman scowled, then snatched the apron from her hands to wipe himself clean. Ali stood in the middle of the coffee shop, defeated. She occasionally accepted shifts when her writing career was a little quiet. In all honesty, Ali's dreams had become stale. 6 rejections sat in her inbox, unopened. So she decided, rightly so, to increase her shifts at Lyra Coffee and Juice Bar. "Oh my!" Ali fell to the floor, breaking her out of her own pity party. She was sure she'd bruise. "Move it, girl. I've got to go to work." A woman in a sharp 3-piece suit had pushed the table and chairs so she could skip the queue. "Can you—" Ali began. Her manager's voice suddenly boomed. "Ali, could you come and serve these customers? The line is getting longer." Sighing, she brushed herself off and resigned herself to a fate. Perhaps this was the best it would get. "Hi, welcome to Lyra. What can I get you?" Tears clouded Ali's eyes, so she focused her attention on the screen. Flat white and a croissant. It was the same woman in the suit that had pushed Ali to the floor. You got it. £8.45, please. Cash or a card?" Ali whispered, her grey eyes now fixated on the card payment button. "Look, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to push you or whatever I did. I just have a big meeting with a publisher and I have nothing to show." The suited woman pushed her dark hair back, clearly frazzled by her own trials and tribulations. It's fine. Everyone has bad days, eh?" Ali offered, afraid that if she continued, she would begin to cry. "Anyways, I can't find a decent manuscript. The publishers want a steamy romance set in the English countryside. None of my writers have anything of that sort. Ali's words of reassurance clearly had no effect on this powerhouse of a woman. As she dug around in her handbag looking for her purse, a spark had ignited in Ali, as if Kismet and the universe had conspired to bring her this neatly wrapped gift, and this lady was the bow on top. "I'm so sorry. You said a romance set in an English countryside." Ali handed her the croissant, then the coffee. "Dear, I said exactly that." Her tone was sharp, as if repeating herself was torture. "Well, I'm a writer, specifically a romance writer. I've written a countryside manor romance, and I've been trying to get an agent for a while." Ali spoke at the speed of lightning, afraid she might lose this opportunity. Proofed and edited. Her questions were clipped, as if she were also afraid that this opportunity may flee. "Mm-hmm." Ali nodded. Ash-brown strands tumbled to frame her face. "Email me now." She handed Ali a business card. Removing her apron, she followed the unyielding woman to the exit. Ali couldn't believe how her fortune had changed. "My name is Miriam. I need you to be at the Willow Hotel for 8 p.m. tonight. I'll have a read of your manuscript and we will meet them there." Miriam pushed the door open, but she took one last glance towards her winning ticket. Then she said, "Wear something nice." With that, she left. Ali couldn't believe what had just happened to her. Suddenly, it felt as if months of suffering was worth this small nugget of happiness. Leaning against the door, she forgot about her rejections, the bruise and the rude man from earlier. However, one thing would never change. Her manager. "Ali, get back here now. I need you making coffee," he exclaimed. Walking into the Willow, a 5-star retreat in the heart of London, Ali felt out of place. Her purple dress clung tightly to her as she struggled to balance on her heels. She hadn't worn a pair in forever. The foyer was magnificent, as a large chandelier dribbled crystals almost to the floor. A grand piano peppered some light jazz, while the scent of lilies and sandalwood permeated through the air. The amber hue of the soft lighting adding a warmth of luxury Ali had never experienced before. As she walked through, savouring every inch of this beautiful regal decor, Ali lost her balance. Her handbag strewn across the floor, her knees taking their second punishment of the day. However, they didn't clack on the marble floor as she expected. She was cushioned. Looking down at what had saved her, she had expected a carpet or a cushion. However, underneath her, blue eyes stared up. The strong jaw with a greying brown beard covered the sharp angles of his face. Large hands were wrapped around her waist, protecting her entire body from the cold, robust tiles. Her small hands looking comical against his large chest. "I am so sorry. Today is not my day. Ali was frantic, her beautiful bun now threatening to break loose from the pins. "Don't worry yourself." The man beneath her let out a breathless sigh, and she maneuvered off him. He was the first to stand up and provided her with a helping hand. Ali obliged. "I am so sorry. I'm just a walking accident today. First I spilled coffee and then I got Persian. Now this." Ali was babbling, trying to recover from this incredibly embarrassing moment. "It's easy to get lost in something so beautiful. I understand," he said, brushing off the dirt on his tailored suit. "I'm Ali. I'm supposed to be meeting someone in an hour. Could I buy you a drink to thank you?" she said, her voice quivering from the shock. "Well, a drink would be lovely. My name's Ryan." He extended his hand a second time, this time for Ali to shake. Ryan's blue eyes explored every inch of Ali's face. How lucky had he been that she lost her balance and fell onto him? He was constantly working, building his empire. There was no opportunity for a beautiful woman to land atop him, accident or not. Ryan ushered the both of them to the bar, his large posture trailing after her protectively. He didn't want her falling onto somebody else, that was for sure. Once seated, Ali ordered a martini, and Ryan chose the same, both afraid to break the magic of this spell. "What brings you to the Willow, Ali?" Ryan removed the olive from his martini and popped it into his mouth. Ali watched as his lips formed an O shape as the olive disappeared. She contemplated whether or not to tell him about her fortunate turn of events, instead deciding that she would enjoy a drink with a handsome man. "I, have a meeting for a potential job." Ali tried to conceal as much detail as possible. He'd find her crazy if she'd splurged the details of her day. "Are you in training to be a spy?" Ryan joked. "My lips are sealed, and no, I have not poisoned your drink," she giggled. Ali's grey eyes twinkled under the dimmed hues of the lamps. "Shame. Did you want a sip?" He raised his eyebrow, bringing the drink to his perfectly full lips. "No, because I've poisoned it." Ali laughed, her head tilting back in hysterics. "You'd be an awful spy. You broke character." He clapped his hands with enthusiasm. Once the laughter had subdued, there was serenity between the two. Both had caught each other's eyes. Ali couldn't understand how a connection this strong between the two had formed. Concurrently, Ryan couldn't believe how easy it was for him to let loose and be his true self. "Ali," he whispered. A blush formed on Ali's cheeks, and she looked down at her drink. At that moment, a large presence hovered around them, a faux fur coat enveloping the velvet interior. "Oh good, you've both met," a booming voice broke through their moment. Miriam shoved the coat to a nearby waiter and sat next to Ali. Her champagne-coloured dress shimmered as she watched the two of them, like she was watching an intense ping-pong match. "So, what have I missed?" Miriam spoke slowly. It was Ryan who broke the awkwardness. Yes, Ali was asking about you at reception. I overheard and decided to introduce myself. His eyes wandered over to her, glancing longer than usual. Good, good. Ali, this is Ryan. He owns Silver Chalice Publishing. It's one of the many things he does. Miriam cooed. It felt like Miriam was singing for her supper. This deal with Ryan must be lucrative for her. Therefore, she was schmoozing. An extreme contrast from earlier in the day. Ali's eyes widened in surprise. She was flirting with a tycoon in the publishing industry. Only the best would be published by Silver Chalice. Well, Ali began. She took a sip of her drink and continued, hoping she would gain an ounce of courage. It's an honor. I've tried to reach out to your offices, but I think I have a very lovely email telling me to find another publishing house. Her voice quieter, and all confidence dissolved. Was it a spy novel? Ryan smirked. The joke went over Miriam's perfectly curled hair, and Ali attempted to stifle a giggle. Oh dear, no, Ryan. You are looking for an English countryside romance fit for a bestseller. Well, I have it. Miriam made a ta-da motion with her arms towards Ali. Ah, so you're the enigma that has London's biggest agent fawning. Ryan took another sip. Ali choked, liquid spluttering all over the marble table. Enigma? Miriam ignored her, pushing her own agenda through. Ali's manuscript printed and bound appeared in her hands. Yes, dear, enigma. This was fantastic. You may quit that awful cafe job. You'll be busy writing the sequel to this, won't you, Ryan? Miriam's ostentatious tone was amusing. Had she just not told Ali to quit her job to become a full-time writer? How will I survive if I don't have a job? Ali asked naively. Well, Ali, if you don't mind me interrupting the Miriam show, we will pay you a bonus and cover your expenses for the year whilst you write the sequel. Ryan interjected, his voice level, but his eyes were full of fire. I don't know what to say. Today has been a bit of a whirlwind. Ali stammered, her eyes wide and her cheeks flushed from the rush. All three discussed the manuscript, allowing Ali to explain the synopsis and her writing process. Miriam ordered another round for everybody. And in that moment, Ali finally felt seen and heard. Ryan couldn't stop joking and prodding at her, that Miriam even asked if they had met previously. Their chemistry was undeniable. Miriam's phone broke the spell. Sorry, both. It's my current best-selling author. She tossed her drink back and walked away. Denise, what can I do for you? So, can your next series be a spy romance? Ryan had moved closer to Ali. Both were leaning into each other. Well, if that's what the boss wants, then the boss will get, she teased. Firstly, I'm not your boss. I'm your boss's 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 boss, he whispered. Secondly, I'd like to take you to dinner, if you wish. Ryan's hand brushed a stray strand of hair from Ali's face. Ali's eyes brightened at his request. I'd like that. Miriam returned, and they all continued chattering and getting to know their best-selling author. Ryan couldn't believe he had found someone beautiful, humble, intelligent, and most importantly, kind-hearted.